Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VII and the end of the Nibel Mountains. And into the sunlight! Here we've got a few new enemies that you can run into. Some of them that you'll want to run into in the forests if you want to grind would be hopefully these guys. Here's a battle, especially these little guys, the battery caps. You can encounter them in very large groups. Sorry about that. Yeah, you can run into them in very large groups and take them out relatively easy. In order to make that a little simpler, and because Cloud needs to work on his limits more than anyone else, I've switched the enemy skill materia over to him. And so he can take out large groups of these enemies so he can learn his level 3 limits. One beta pretty much does it, and you can sit around here and you can run over to the town if you want, or you can just sit here and use tents all day. Either way, very good area to grind if you want to do that. They do a decent amount of damage, so it's a good area to work on your limits, and you can also kill a lot of them, so you can work on your other limits that way. But I don't really need to do that. I've already done a lot of that, so let's head on here to... Where is this? What's that? That's a very large rocket. Let me guess, they were real lazy with the naming of this place and decided to name it something stupid like, I don't know, Rocket Town? Damn! Yes, this is called Rocket Town, and the most unoriginal name ever conceived. Not that it really matters too much, and apparently this is in China. Shanghai Inn. I'm gonna sleep because I need some MP back. Yeah, this town has some decent music. It reminds me, I think it's played in, yeah, it's played back in Midgar. Somewhere along the line, I believe. Anyway, knock on the door, and someone's in there. Okay, I don't know why they bothered to throw that in, but... Oh, I wanted to talk to that other guy. I'm talking to the wrong people here, jeez. This guy. Oh. Yeah. What about the guy in the black cape? You see Sephiroth? Oh. Yeah, who's the captain? Oh, okay. An accident, huh? That's probably why that rocket's leaning so much, eh? I wouldn't call that a waste, but that depends on what you're doing while thinking about going into outer space. And in here we have the weapon shop. And if I can get the controls to work for me. Okay then. If a gun is a man's weapon, why use... Oh, he does only sell one weapon. Thought he sold a bunch of weapons. Anyway, there you can buy the gold armlets here if you really want to. You can also buy earrings here to boost your magic damage. But there's a good reason to stick away from most of this stuff. If you really feel the need, I guess you could buy those. I don't think they're worth it, but it's entirely up to you. If you were thinking about buying these, I would suggest holding off because we're going to be getting something much better in the relatively near future, actually right after this area. After a few little side sections. Not really side quests, but just want to pick up a couple of things when I'm done with this area before going to get that. What about you? Anything interesting? No, so the rocket is Shinra's, huh? What about this guy? Oh. So that's the 26th rocket, meaning they fired 25 of them off. If you talk to this guy a couple of times... Yeah, let's take a look at this rocket with him. Although we've already kind of glanced up at this rocket. It's nice that they managed to put clouds in the background. It's very rare to see a cloud in the sky in a video game for some reason. It's either completely clear or overwhelmed with thunder, and then you usually don't even see the clouds. You don't tend to see, you know, some sparse cloud like that. Anyway, for talking to this guy and taking a look at that thing, we get the Yoshiyuki, which is... Hey, let me go. Which is a very useful weapon for Cloud, just not right now. The reason it's so useful is because it's quite powerful and that the sword is used when ally is down. Basically, that's makes no sense compared to what it actually does. If one character is dead or knocked out, then it does double damage. If two characters are knocked out, it does triple damage, which could be useful, but I'm not going to kill off my party members to make use of it. So, oh well. There's a house back here that's kind of half hidden. And what do we got here? Sure. I'm sure there's plenty of things to get you excited, though I don't really want to offer any options there. Yeah, well, life is boring. That's why we have video games. Keep us entertained. One more, well, two more houses to check out. This one here. Okay, you're not that funny, you didn't make me laugh. Anyway, treasure chest in here. Power source. That'll be going to Cloud sooner or later. And if I can get in there, thank you. In here we have wrong room. There it is. We get a drill arm, which is I think it's a double growth weapon for Barrett. And by just running around and looking to places, we trigger a scene here. Because once we get here, we're not really told, other than by Sephiroth and the mansion, to go anywhere other than north through the mountains. And since it's the only place left to go, we just get stuck running around in circles, trying to figure out where to go next until a scene happens. Not a lot of motivation in this town. So are we going to steal the plane? Is that what we're going to do? We're just looking at it. We went through your house in order to look at it, but we're just going to look at it. We had to break in to get back here, but we're not going to steal it. The captain will be at the rocket. Oh, and this is Shara. Apparently, that's her house, or maybe it's the captain's house. I'm not sure. Maybe it's both of their houses. And apparently he wants to introduce both of his names all at once. No. Oh. Well, what's going on here? Oh. Time for a rematch with Rufus. Nice. Alright, let's get Cloud prepped for that. Bet you it's another one-on-one duel. This time, hopefully, to the death. Anyway, once you do that, we can head back here and head to the rocket, which, oddly enough, is only accessible by running over a lot of stairs that go over massive cables. I think they'd have a better system than this. Man, I'm gonna fast forward climbing that because that takes too long. Way too long. Oh, I love this song. So much fun. Talk to this guy here. Eventually, I'm pressing the right button. Come on, talk to the guy. Thank you. Jeez. Captain was here. This song, on the other hand, I like a hell of a lot more. Adventurous, moving, motivational. Oh, I love this song. This is Cid's theme. And it's probably the most adventurous theme in the game. It kind of reminds me, not in terms of the sound of the song, but in terms of how adventurous it is. It's the most adventurous track in this game, as far as I'm concerned. It reminds me a lot of Chrono's theme, or the Determination theme from Chrono Trigger. And I think that's just, both themes do a really good job of picking up my energy whenever I listen to them. Anyway, so he's not going to give us the boat, or the ship there, the tiny Brog with the little plane. Let's ask about Rufus. Oh. He still has dreams, so that's why he's going to open the space program. What do you want to know about this rocket? I'll explain to you. Yeah, Cid, his hair, I think it kind of looks a little better and more accurate to what he's supposed to be in terms of age in the Final Fantasy VII movie. And now it just looks like a little bit like a blob, but I think he's only supposed to be in like his 42 or something like that. 35, 42, somewhere in that kind of range. The meaningless war. We've heard a bunch of different people talk about this war, but nothing about what the war was about. It's kind of weird. Oh, so they used to be a weapons manufacturer. I guess that would kind of make sense as to why those humans were being turned into monsters back in the flashback. They came up with a rocket engine, which would be really cool. Yeah? Prototype. Oh, so they haven't fired off 25. Everything before it has been a prototype that presumably did not work. Cid, you're full of yourself. Everything was going well. Whoa! Language, Cid. So much bad language. Okay. And the whole space program got kind of screwed. If you remember way back when we were climbing over that toilet in Midgar in the Shinra building, and the old president was talking about a tax hike, and Palmer was really excited because he was going to get money for the space program. And then he found out that money wasn't going into that. Basically, that's why he was so excited, because this program's basically been nixed, and in order to, you know, kind of start it up again, he needs funds, otherwise he's just not doing anything. Yeah, they could make money. Yep, that's pretty much a corporation for you, Cid. Yeah. Tilts a little bit more. Of course, at the angle it's actually tilting, it would not stay, it would fall over, but oh well. It's a Final Fantasy game. I'll give it credit for, even though it's way out of line and completely illogical. And as you can see, Cid's hopes are kind of dashed at this point. And that's all he'll say. And normally, now would be when we leave, but I don't want to leave, because then the music would stop. Alright, fine, I'll leave. Yes, I do like this song too. I just like Cid's theme a lot more. Such a great theme. Okay. And now we're pretty much out of options. We've tried to borrow the plane, can't do that. Talk to him, so I guess we're gonna kind of sit here and wait until the Shinra show up. But in order to activate the waiting sequence, we must head in here and I guess attempt to go back and steal the plane anyway. I don't know why we're supposed to go back in this house. Maybe to talk to Cher, I guess, and explain that we couldn't borrow the plane. I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense. And here we have Cid, who swears a hell of a lot, and I guess they are married. Get some tea! I don't know, I found this whole sequence was really funny before, and, you know, watching it more and more times, you just start to see more of the, you know, the abuse that Cid's laying on Cher, and it becomes less funny and more annoying. But, I don't know. This line is still frickin' awesome. Sit your ass down in that chair and drink your goddamn tea. I don't know why. That line, when I first read it, I was just like, the hell? It's tea. This game came out in 97. I probably played it by 98. 98, I would have been 10 years old. I never drank tea at 10 years old. Nobody I knew drank tea at 10 years old. Hell, my parents didn't drink tea when I was 10 years old. Anyway. Yeah, I always found that line just absolutely hilarious. Just because of how animated Cid is about us sitting down and going right at us to do that, so that, you know, he's kind of taking care of his guests. Even though it's really kind of... what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't make a lot of sense how you would yell at somebody to sit down when you're trying to be cordial and trying to be nice to somebody who's your guest. Oopsies. What did I do there? There we go. Fix all my contrast and all that. I hit a button somewhere. Okay. Clean the guy's clock. Okay. His dream, huh? Yeah. Ooh, flashback. And this is probably... Well, this is a rendition of Cid's theme. This one is called Sending a Dream into the Universe. And it's really a much more emotional version, less adventurous and more emotional, and you kind of just feel his hope washed away. And as you can see, the issue here is Cher, I guess, is doing repairs and maintenance and checking everything to make sure everything's going to work all right. And Cid wants to get everyone's ass in gear so he can get into space. Oh, well, so you say. No buts. Oh. I'm sorry. And apparently, I don't know how long ago this was that his rocket was nixed. You'd assume it would be sometime during the war, or maybe just after the war. Which I think ended about 5 or 6 years ago, considering how, you know, when Cloud was there 5 years ago, going back to Nibelheim. Preparations are complete. Time to lift off! Back in a few. Well, it depends. How good's your landing gear? And it kind of makes sense to name this theme Sending a Dream into the Universe and to play it during this sequence, because basically going into space is his dream, and they're literally going to outer space, and that's kind of his whole thing. That's his dream, and they're sending it up into the universe. I don't know. Maybe it's overly obvious and I'm beating a dead horse, but I don't know. I like it. Good theme, good sequence. Emergency situation. In the engine? Burnt alive much? A little extra crispy there? Intercom. They got an intercom, but no cameras. And apparently we get a camera. Yay! Of course it's Shara. Go. You want to get fried? They weren't satisfactory. Then why did you start the damn sequence to launch the... you could have waited. Yeah, pretty much. People love to interrupt when I'm trying to record. It's unbelievable. They don't get it. Anyway. So, it doesn't matter if she's dead. She just wants to make this happen at all costs. So in a sense, it's her dream that's going into the universe as well, even if she's not physically going up there. And I don't understand how they can't just cancel the start sequence. I don't know a hell of a lot about rocket ships and launch procedure, but you could assume that emergency shutdown wouldn't hurt nothing. I don't know, I just watched something that was taking place in Texas. Now I'm speaking with horrible grammar. Another 6 months. I said, I don't understand that. Why? Whoa, Cid! You're considering it? Cid, you bastard! And she's going to do another one. Of course. 30 seconds to ignition. And now the dialogue's going to go on its own. Otherwise, you would kind of screw it up, because like you could just hold on this one and not finish the dialogue set and the countdown would already hit. You can see Cid just shaking there. It's really, you see a lot of his personality come out in this, how much he just wants to be in outer space, more than anything in the world. shit! And apparently there is one thing he values more than his dream of going into outer space, and that's his moral compass. See, that's one of the reasons why the scene, even though it is a little abusive towards Shara earlier on, it doesn't bother me so much, because you see that he's already sacrificed everything he ever wanted, everything in life he wanted, to keep her alive. And not necessarily because he's in love with her or likes her or whatever, just because he had to do it. It was his moral center. He had to prevent life from being lost. And the launch became cancelled, resulting in him really losing his dream forever. Oh, wow. That's devotion for you. Oh, you're not such a bad guy there, Cid. And here comes the abuse again. It's not really abuse. I guess he's just kind of yelling. Cid, you're awesome. Such a funny character. Where is that little punk? Oh, speaking of people we haven't seen in a while, there's Palmer, the fat man. Okay. And Cid runs like a moron. It becomes really annoying in a later sequence later on in the game. It's just... it's so weird. Huh? You're in charge of the space program. You should know these things. What's wrong with you? And he swears twice, calls him fat, and Palmer doesn't want to be called fat, even though it's pretty obvious that he's fat. Ooh, tea. And he's going to put lard in his tea, as well as sugar and honey. Ew. Hell, I don't even know if I've used lard in cooking for anything. Probably not. Butter, oil, different kinds of oil. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I've used. Anyway, in order to continue, we must head outside. But that's all the time I have for this episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy VII. Next time, we will go and talk to Cid and potentially have a confrontation with Rufus. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.